WTN. Good morning to you. Hope you are doing well, and welcome on in to a Wednesday, January 14th. Joan and I and Sam, we're all sort of just laughing about President Trump flipping the bird to that heckler in Michigan yesterday. That was very funny. What'd you say, Joan?
He feels us.
He does feel us. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
And mouthing F you a couple of times as well. Do you know what's interesting? I wonder if that same guy, and I've got the whole story, but I wonder if that same guy would go scream at Bill and Hillary Clinton for not showing up at those hearings yesterday.
Yep. Well, they're going to get theirs. They'll be subpoenaed.
Well, we'll see if they show up for said subpoena and all that. So we'll talk about all of that. But, you know, I do feel like Trump mouthing FU and launching that middle finger, that really does feel like it's representative of MAGA right now, of Donald Trump supporters. Like
we're over it.
Like we're over it.
Yeah.
You know what? Minnesota protesters, I mean, listen, if you want to continue, protesters all across the country, including apparently there was a bunch of protesters here in Nashville last night. And so if you want to go and do stupid stuff, knock yourselves out and let the chips fall where they may. But problem is that they're only causing their own side more consternation, because I do believe that their bad behavior will ultimately harm them in the midterm elections, which I understand is a long way away. There was a story real quickly, and I've got a lot to cover. By the way, Jack Johnson, Senate Majority Leader here in Tennessee, is going to be with us at 7:36, have a new legislative session that started this week. And Stephen Bucci going to give us all the latest on Iran at 8:06 as well. Matthew Hurt, I'm hoping to schedule him for 6:36. But there was, I don't know if you folks saw this. I've got audio here if we could. I'm going to have to stop and start this because we don't have video editing equipment here at the radio station. We don't need to go through that again. So Channel 5 runs this piece, and I guess there's a bunch of hysteria on the left, because you have Cameron Sexton, House Speaker Cameron Sexton. Apparently, the Republicans are working with Stephen Miller to write some state legislative policy regarding illegal immigration. And everybody's freaking out on the left. Now, personally, I don't think this is a big deal. I think it's good, because the vast majority of the people, say what you will about Donald Trump and say what you will about Stephen Miller, but the vast majority of the American people agree with mass deportation. So this is the story, and I need some video. This is the story from Channel 5. And again, I'm just going to have to stop and start this.
Proposals. Our Patsy Montesino spoke with advocacy groups who say they're ready to stand up for their neighbors.
It's no secret that a crackdown on immigration is one of the top priorities for the White House. And News Channel 5 is learning that Tennessee lawmakers are hoping to help them get there and make Tennessee one of the models for immigration enforcement.
I love that. I mean, why wouldn't Tennessee be a model for immigration enforcement? I think that that's what Tennesseans voted for. And me personally, I think it's great that we're working with Stephen Miller. But I want you to focus in on how they demonize Stephen Miller. And like usual, they actually don't go into any specifics as far as why they're demonizing Stephen Miller, why they're talking about him in such, negative ways and negative connotations. It's all just sort of intimated, like, yeah, we all know that we're supposed to hate Stephen Miller, and how dare the Republicans work with Stephen Miller on illegal immigration or immigration policy in the state of Tennessee.
We've been working with the White House on the immigration package.
Before the gavel drops for this year's session, Republicans say their work has been underway for months.
You're going to see a number of bills that are filed that are against illegal immigration.
Like meeting with White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller.
Dun, dun, dun.
Credited with many of the administration's core beliefs. Miller has been a driving force behind stricter enforcement, ICE recruitment, and its deployment.
I've been working with them and Stephen Miller now for several months, and I think it'll be more about transparency and other things and data, but it's a definite direction that we're going where no one else is going.
Yeah, that's Cameron Sexton. and it makes all the sense in the world. Look up for me. I should know this off the top of my head. But, Sam, Donald Trump won the state of Tennessee by how much? I've forgotten now, but it was a pretty good amount. And so it's clear that illegal immigration has been a big part of the Trump campaign when he was running against Joe Biden and his open border policy, Kamala Harris as well. And so, Cameron Sexton, and by the way, one of the things that, as we play this, one of the things that they're talking about is transparency. We want to know how many people, how many illegal aliens are in the state of Tennessee. And frankly, I would like to know how we can get them out. Talk to me, Sam.
Almost 30. 29.7.
Okay.
These discussions concern lawmakers across the aisle, like Tennessee's Democratic Caucus Chair John Ray Clemens.
This is a gentleman who's known for a lot of controversial legislation, a lot of discrimination and hate type of policies.
What are you talking about, John Ray Clemens?
Rural towns.
Can he give any specifics? John Ray Clemens, can you give anything specific about how Stephen Miller is responsible for, controversial policies and hatred? Because I know that Stephen Miller and the Trump administration, they want to, how many days? How many days am I going to have to sit here and talk about who it is that the Trump administration is deporting? Am I going to have to do this for a third day in a row for
what I like
John Ray Clemens?
Is that reporter didn't ask for specifics.
Thank you, Joan.
Follow that. You can't make a statement like that without asking for the follow-up.
Do you know what, Joan? I'm going to admit something. Hey, listeners, flag the tape. I'm going to admit something right now, that some of my opinions and my stated policy preferences on illegal immigration, they are based on hatred. Hatred of child molesters, child murderers, drug dealers, gang members.
I think that kind of hatred is okay.
Rapists. Is it though, Joan? If you look at what's happening in Minnesota, if you listen to John Ray Clemens, where they've just got these vague generalities of, Stephen Miller is, he's full of hatred. Well, you know what? I number one, I appreciate people that hate evil. And if there's one thing that we have noticed as far as the Democrats go, whether we're talking about Kamala Harris or Alejandro Mayorkas or Joe Biden or Afton Bain and all of these other folks, is that they won't denounce people that they should denounce. They won't denounce the murderers or the child rapists or the kidnappers and the human traffickers. They won't denounce it. And so while people on our side are saying, what the H, why are we letting all of these flippin' Somalians in here when they rip off our country? Yeah, you know what, John Ray Clemens? I hate that, and you should too. But you're right, Joan. The reporter doesn't ask for anything specific. And all right, so let's continue on. This is Channel 5 and their conversation with Cameron Sexton, House Speaker Cameron Sexton, John Ray Clemens as well, a Democrat. And they're talking about how, the horror. Cameron Sexton working with Stephen Miller and the Trump administration to make Tennessee really a model for how to deal with illegal immigration. Here's more.
Known for a lot of controversial legislation, a lot of discrimination and hate type of policies.
Clemens says he traveled to 11 rural towns during a listening tour, and immigration never came up.
What was mentioned over and over were people scared.
This is the Afton Bain model, where she was, and I'm going to let him talk, but he's going to talk about how Tennesseans are worried about affordability, roads, rural hospitals. And yeah, obviously, we're concerned about that as well, but we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Scared to death of paying higher prices for their insurance premiums, for their school being underfunded, and for their roads being in the worst shape they've ever seen them.
Lawmakers say more details could come later this week, but News Channel 5 has been able to confirm Republicans are crafting 8 to 9 immigration-focused bills, legislation that could directly affect how many people living in Tennessee are undocumented. Advocacy.
Isn't that good, though? Like, did you hear that line that the reporter just said? 8 to 9 pieces of legislation or bills that could impact the number of undocumented immigrants here in the state of Tennessee. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? Am I missing something? I don't think I'm missing anything. What do we know? We know that oftentimes undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens, a number of things happen. Number one, and I'm not saying all of them, of course, but you have some who end up being perpetrators of crime. That's number one. And that's just a fact. That is just a fact. And I do hate those people. Number two, you have a lot of these folks who do end up on some sort of government assistance as well. Number three, we could talk about the suppression of wages. I mean, we've all talked about this before.
And the part he's conveniently leaving out is part of the reason. I mean, I would assume that people aren't bringing this up in local town halls in their rural counties to talk about it, is because the county sheriffs are holding these people on their detainers for ICE. They're not just letting them back out into the streets.
Oh, in the rural counties.
Yeah, which is where he said he went and visited 11 towns. And
yeah, they're not worried about it because guess what? The local sheriffs are holding these bad guys with their ICE detainers. You're right. And honestly, where do we have a lot of the issues with illegal immigration? It's in the bigger cities. Here's more.
Groups, including Turk Vote, says the direct link to Miller alarms them because he wants to eliminate even legal migration.
So she says that Stephen Miller wants to eliminate legal migration. Part of what the Trump administration has been talking about is, and remember what they did. They wanted to put a stop to all of this migration until we can figure out what in the world is going on, who is coming into our country, et cetera. So they're leaving out the part where Donald Trump and the Trump administration has said, hey, if you are from a nation that is full of America-hating terrorists and you want to come into our country, well, you know what? We're going to put a stop to that. We're going to slow that down because we got a lot of people that are coming into this country that don't have our best interests at heart as a nation. So again, it's the context that they're leaving out.
As Tennesseans, we should be deeply alarmed that they're aligning themselves with this really extreme character.
Do you have any specifics about why it is that Stephen Miller is extreme? What you know what's happening? What's happening is because Stephen Miller is such a, and I think this is true. Would you agree with this, Joan and Sam? Stephen Miller is really, really good at defending and selling the Trump administration's policies.
He is so laser focused.
He is absolutely laser focused. He is, I believe, as good, maybe even better than J.D. Vance at selling the president's immigration policies. Yep. Now, are they controversial? Yeah, they're controversial. But you know what? I would say that the people on the left, let me put it this way. Whose opinions are more controversial? Whose policies would be more controversial? I really want you to think about this. Republicans and conservatives want a secure border. We want to know who is coming into this country exactly. We want vetting, and we want people that can actually contribute to our country. Okay, that's conservatives. Democrats, they just want to let everybody in, whether or not they can contribute or not. They want them to come in huge numbers. They don't care about criminal records. They don't care what these people have done in the past, and they want to protect the criminals at all cost. So let me ask this question. Whose side is more controversial, Democrats or Republicans? I mean, this is a no-brainer.
And they want you to pay for it.
And they want us to pay for it. Great point, Sam. And they want the American people to pay for it. It seems to me like so this is, at least to me, this is an incredibly biased piece against conservatives in the State House, against Cameron Sexton, against Stephen Miller, against Trump supporters across the state of Tennessee.
Who has evil desires for this country.
Turk votes and
can I ask this question? Did they go, and I understand that they spoke to Cameron Sexton. But my question is this. They speak to two people from two pro-illegal alien, pro-criminal activist groups. This is Channel 5. They spoke to two activist groups that are pro-illegal immigration, pro no borders whatsoever, and pro all of these people, including really bad guys, bad hombres coming into this country. Did they speak to anybody on the other side? This is how I'm going to prove Channel 5 in this incredibly biased report, all right? They spoke to Cameron Sexton and another Republican, I don't know who it was. They spoke to John Ray Clemens. So they got, politically speaking, they've got both sides, right? They got the Republicans and the Democrats, that's fine. But they've got two people from these pro-illegal immigration groups that are talking smack about Stephen Miller. So why don't you take one of these people that are talking smack about Stephen Miller, these pro-illegal immigration groups, and put one conservative in there talking about exactly why it is that conservatives want controlled legal migration, as opposed to just the open border policies that the Democrats have been favoring for the past, 4 years under Joe Biden. But they didn't. They went out and they spoke to people who are pro-illegal immigration, pro-criminal, and that's what they did. That's how you can tell that this piece from Channel 5 is biased.
Promise to push back.
If people wanted to get involved, one of the best ways they can is to show up at the Capitol with us. Listen to these legislators talk about these very harmful bills.
In Nashville, I'm Patsy Montesinos.
All right, good. There you go.
It's criminal how the press is operating
Isn't
now.
it just amazing?
It's
like
criminal.
I have not been a journalist in many years. But that is so incredibly biased. Now, just so you know, I'm not a journalist. I'm a talk show host. But, I mean, the bias is breathtaking from Channel 5.
At least they didn't defame Scott Adams and his death like other outlets did.
Oh, did you see what People magazine did?
No.
Oh.
Wait, okay, so hold on, because we're running late.
Okay, there's so much there.
I'm awfully wordy today. Watch out, folks. Yeah. We'll talk about that at 5:35. I did not. It was very sad. Scott Adams passed away. I did a whole thing yesterday. I think it was in this segment on Scott Adams and how he was talking about he's in his final days. Turns out he was in his final hours. It was announced that he had passed away
just after you left.
Just after I left the building.
Yep.
So yeah, very sad, very sad. And so I did not see how the media was defaming or demeaning Scott Adams. So we'll talk about that coming up at 5:35. It is 5:25. By the way, there was apparently a little protest at the Capitol building. Was it last night, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our resident village idiot, Justin Jones, leading the charge.
Justin Jones. By the way, Jack Johnson is going to join us at 7:36 to give us the other side of the story on what's going to happen at the state legislature, working with Stephen Miller and so forth. Because Channel 5 certainly did not give the perspective of conservatives who have been concerned about illegal immigration. So, Jones, Sam, the engineering aspects of broadcasting have always confused the living crap out of me. So, Joan, you're going to love this. Mm-hmm. So during Red Eye, I go on to the super text line. I just opened it up. I got like 50 people telling me that they heard me recording commercials over Red Eye. Now, this is at like 4:30, 4:40 in the morning. I had to bang out a couple of spots. And I don't know why my microphone wasn't on and it wasn't up on the board or whatever, but it went out over the radio.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And of course, I didn't get these spots recorded in one take. So I had a couple of pickups. So I don't know how that happened. One guy says, "Is this the way you're going to start your Wednesday, Dan?" Recording commercials over the Red Eye. Listen, I would like to say that it's not my fault. Over the commercial break, Sam and I are trying to figure out how in the world that happened. So if you heard me going, check, 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 that was me trying to figure out why it is that I was going out over the air earlier today. I'm trying to figure, I got to call engineering, but I do apologize.
I'm not going nuts.
I'm not going nuts.
I swear.
I don't understand how that happened. So I feel really bad, and I do apologize. Anyway, moving right along. Scott Adams. So I don't know the thing about People Magazine or whatever. So how are the media? Now, it doesn't surprise me if the media is, slamming Scott Adams not even 24 hours after the man's death, because he was a conservative commentator. He was absolutely pro-Donald Trump. And so tell me what exactly it is that, was it People Magazine, Joan? That
People Magazine.
You're all riled up over, so go ahead.
Their headline was, Scott Adams, disgraced Dilbert creator.
Oh, my
dies
goodness
at
gracious.
68.
Are
Yes.
you kidding me?
Not kidding. And what they did was they made sure that the woman who posted it, who actually wrote the article, initially her name was on it. Then they took it down and they replaced it with People Staff so that she wouldn't get all the hate mail she was getting.
She should have gotten a lot of. Well,
she's they got her. They know who she is. She's
There's pictures. In fact, I posted the pictures of her. I posted what her handle is on X. I made sure that everybody knows who this woman is.
She looks like she could sink a Venezuelan tanker.
She also looks. Joan, remember you're a Christian.
Oh, come on, Joan. Forget about it for like 5 seconds.
She's definitely one of those people you see out at the protests. She's definitely one of them.
Okay.
Like screaming at the crowds.
Realize that she wrote it. You had editors that also allowed that headline to go in as well, right? So there's multiple.
Yes.
There's multiple
layers.
Layers. Thank you, Joan. There's multiple layers that allowed that to happen. And you know what? I think that's just wrong. I think that is clearly People Magazine, and they're doing whatever they can to disparage, a good man.
Yep.
And a good conservative. He was beloved by millions. Now, I admitted yesterday, I did a whole thing on this yesterday, but he was a cartoonist, obviously, but that was just in his later years, that was I'm not going to say a small part of what he was, but it was part of what he was. He was also a beloved conservative commentator, and people loved him. People called him, you and I talked about this yesterday, people called Scott Adams Internet Dad, America's Dad, all that kind of stuff. And I've watched some of his videos, and I'm not going to pretend to say that I watched even more than 20 minutes of some of his online presentations. But I know enough to know that people who I respect absolutely loved him.
And part of the reason that they're going to lead with that as a headline, disgraced Dilbert creator, is because of one thing he said taken out of context. And it probably was a poor choice of overall verbiage. But the sentiment that he was trying to hit at about, just how certain white people are fatigued by things that are going on.
I feel like what we need to do is, and I'm going to have to do this from memory. So, Sam, if you want to look it up real quick. Basically, Joan, what happened, and folks, this was a few years ago. There was a poll, I think it was Rasmussen, where there was a certain percentage of black people that said that it is not okay for white people. Look it up, Sam, because I don't want to shank this. And I purposely didn't do this yesterday. Now it's come up, and so I've got to make sure that I present this in the appropriate way. Basically, there was a poll that said that there's a certain percentage of black people that said that it was, not okay for white people to feel like it was okay to be white or something like that.
The statement was, do you agree or disagree with the statement, it's okay to be white? The report found that 72% of respondents agreed, including 53% who are black. Some 26% of black respondents disagreed, and 21% said they are not sure. The poll also found that 79% of the respondents agreed with the statement, black people can be racist too.
And so
what he said was, quote, if nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, that's a hate group. I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people because there is no fixing this.
I get where he was going.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what he was saying. I think Sam's right. I try to, if something can very easily be taken out of context, you got to be very careful as to what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the full context of what he said probably, and I haven't heard the whole rant, but I get what he was saying. I mean, you want to stay away from people that hate you. And I try to stay away from people that hate me. Unfortunately, there's a lot of them. But, you want to stay, and that goes for anybody. If you're a white person and there's another white person that hates you, then you stay away from that person. If you are a black person and there's somebody that hates you, you stay away from that person. But this, of course, mixed hate and race and all that other stuff. And so he just got caught up in cancel culture. The bottom line is what happened is that he lost his syndic. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
He lost his syndicator. He lost all of his endorsement deals. He lost every one of his speaking engagements as well. He literally lost everything. He lost millions of dollars.
Yes, he did.
He literally lost everything. And I don't think he apologized for it. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how much I talked about this back in, I think it was 2023. I think it was in 2023. I remember talking about this a little bit, but I mean, this is, the speed of the news cycle these days. But he lost everything. He did persevere. He moved everything online to the internet. And by the time this thing happened, by the way, he was already set, I believe. But he was selling books online, doing a lot of stuff online. I think he probably
had his podcast.
He was doing that podcast, and he was still successful after that. So
yep.
So I don't know.
They waited. They didn't wait for. They waited for the third line of the story to denigrate him. It's so despicable.
Yeah.
And then the New York Times did something similar. Hold on. New York Times, Scott Adams.
Shout out Jill T in the YouTube chat. Scott Adams clarified, who among us hasn't said something abhorrent at some point? When you are schooled, you learn. He learned. I mean.
Yeah, he did. He was on. There was a big interview with Jake Tapper where he talked about how, you know what? That's right. He did say, you know what? We've all stepped in it. Who among us haven't stepped in it? Good Lord.
You don't throw stones in glass houses.
No.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that was talking incessantly about peanuts yesterday, and people took it the wrong way.
Are you sure about that?
Every Peanuts book known to man. If you missed that yesterday.
Then the New York Times, I can't find what the headline was that they said, but of course they also had to say terrible things about him. They said a creator of Dilbert says he has the same cancer as Biden. So apparently they're making them one and the same.
I forget. Well, maybe, but I mean, Scott Adams' cancer was more advanced. I think they caught it at stage 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did they catch it at stage 4?
Mm-hmm.
Stage 4. So Biden, of course, is they caught his really early, from what I understand. So
we could catch his cancer, but not him wandering off stage.
Scott Adams, it was so far advanced that it metastasized to his bones.
Ooh,
and it is
painful.
Exactly the same cancer that my father died from. It's very painful.
Prostate cancer?
Yes, that have metastasized.
My father-in-law is going to get his prostate looked at today. That annual. How often are you supposed to do it?
I think it's annually.
No, it's not annually.
Because you're not
happens.
doing it
happens annually.
No, you're supposed to. Here's the PSA, folks. Get your test. My father-in-law is getting it done today.
Is he having problems?
No, he's just doing what you're supposed to do when you're a man of a certain age. How old are you, Sam?
29.
You got a long way to go. I don't know if Scott Adams got his tests done or not.
Right.
But from what I understand, you're not to bring things like this up, Joan, but the things that people always say, because prostate cancer really slow at spreading.
Yep.
Had your father gotten tested?
No. And, my dad began to, for him, there's different ways that they can take care of it. They have different methods of using radiation in beads that go into the prostate. They also can use hormones. Well, my father's doctor suggested hormones for him, and he began taking them. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
So he stopped.
I don't know why my wife is up, but she's texting me colonoscopy, Dan. That's what her dad is going to do, a colonoscopy today.
Yeah, those are.
That's what they do when they're.
I don't think I need to wait till I'm 50 to go get a.
Well, that's when. Isn't that what time? What
colonoscopy? Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you turn 50. You're supposed to
45. Yeah.
Clean yourself out.
I drove my dad. I know.
Yeah, clean yourself out. So of course, Amy decides that she's going to drive my car. He better not leak in my car, Amy.
Stop
That's all I'm saying.
Just stop it.
I'm just saying.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway.
Put down a pee bag.
Yeah, people are laughing at my recording of the commercial over the Red Eye guys.
Yeah.
Everybody. This is what's funny. Because this has happened to everybody, right? If you're just joining us, Amy, good morning. So I came in and I recorded commercials early and here in the studio because you want to make sure the mic matches. My mic at home doesn't exactly match the mic here. So I come in to do it here. And somehow I ended up on the air not knowing that I was on the air. So everybody that was listening to Red Eye on the edge of their seat thinking, don't curse, Mandis, don't curse. Because has that ever happened where you're listening to somebody who clearly doesn't know that they're on and you're just, if it's somebody that you like, you're thinking, don't curse. Don't do anything that's going to get you fired, right? Or maybe it's just me.
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I've seen such a gaffe, heard such a gaffe before, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I have. Like somebody that doesn't know they're on the air. That's happened to me a number. I was on remote a couple of months ago now. Remember, Sam, you were there. You were the one that, no, it was Leviticus. Somebody left me up. Joan, were you? I don't know where you were, but I was on remote at a barbecue place.
Oh, it was Edley's.
Oh,
Edley's Barbecue.
Yeah, I had class.
And you guys left me up on the board. I thought that I was inside baseball.
So you were talking about the homeless guy?
And I was talking about the homeless guy. Do you remember this, Joan? So we're in a commercial break. These guys leave me up on the board. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm laughing, talking to Sam, saying that the only person at this remote is me and a stinky homeless guy who's sleeping 10 feet from me. And I'm laughing about it. I'm like horrified and I'm laughing both at the same time because like this is the epitome of broadcasting, right? A remote and the only person that is there is you and a sleeping, stinky homeless guy 10 feet from you. And I mean, I thought it was funny.
Starting to sound like you own a home in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah. And so they're like, nobody was there but me and this homeless guy. Like the engineer was off having a smoke. The mason who was there was off getting some barbecue. And I'm just there, shame spiraling and circling the drain. God, it was so funny. How did we get on to anyway? So yeah, people that were listening were like, don't curse, Dan, don't curse. I don't think that I did. And I think and I recorded 2 commercials, so I apologize to the Red Eye guys. Oh, George says he's got a colonoscopy today as well. Congratulations.
All right, you ready for this?
What?
I just scheduled mine yesterday.
How old are you? Is this your first one, Joan?
No.
Okay.
No.
I will admit.
I don't want to do this.
Nobody asked.
I just turned 58. I have not done the first one,
You haven't
Joan.
done the first one.
I have not done the first one.
You need to get there.
I know.
If only for the peace of mind,
Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm as regular as the day is long.
Oh, boy.
Okay. TMI. La 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 la.
We should probably move right
done?
along. Yeah, I'm done. It's all good. It's all good. No problem.
It's what you're hoping they'll say when they pull the camera out.
Yeah. Anyway.